I'm always intrigued when one band spawns another. Sometimes the first band is successful, the second one isn't, or vice versa. In this case, both bands were successful. Want to find out who they were? Then let's drop the needle. In 1970, a band appeared out of England, and on their first album they were dressed as pallbearers and standing around a coffin. Pretty grim picture. The band was called McGinnis Flint and was formed by Tom Guinness, who had success with the band Manfred Mann, and Hughie Flint, who was the drummer in the Blues Breakers with John Mayall and Eric Clapton. They were joined by Dennis Colson and two amazing songwriters, Benny Gallagher and Graham Lyle. Their first single was a hit, When I'm Dead and Gone. It shot to #2 in the UK and broke the top 40 in the US. The album followed quickly and it hit the top 10 in the UK. They released a second single called Malt and Barley Blues, and it rose to #5 in the UK. But by this time the band had actually splintered into two factions. On one side you had McGinnis, Flint, and Colson, and they favored touring. On the other side you had Gallagher and Lyle, the songwriters, who favored recording. They recorded a second album, Happy Birthday, Ruthie Baby, but it failed to do anything. And so Gallagher and Lyle decided to set out as a duo. In the meantime, Colson, McGinnis, and Flint recorded an album of unreleased Dylan songs, but it went nowhere. They then recorded 2 more albums, but they also did not sell. But they sure hit the ground running with that first album. Almost all the songs were written by Gallagher and Lyle. Besides the huge hit, When I'm Dead and Gone, I like Bodang Buck, Let It Ride, Dream Darling Dream, Brother Psyche, and Who You Got to Love. It's just a flat-out great album, and it was produced by Glenn Johns. Before McGinnis Flint was formed, Gallagher and Lyle were already successful songwriters. In fact, they got hired by Apple Records, not as performers, but to write songs for Apple Records artists. And some of the songs that they wrote were for Mary Hopkin. Gallagher and Lyle have recorded 8 albums, but I'm going to focus on the 3 that I have in my collection. In 1973, they recorded Seeds. This was their 3rd album, actually. Besides drums, sax, and string arrangements, the 2 of them played all of the instruments. And the album was produced by their old friend, Glenn Johns. All of the songs are written by Gallagher and Lyle. I like the lead-off song, Country Morning, Lena, Shine a Light, and Seeds. In 1974, they released the album Last Cowboy. Again, all the songs are written by Gallagher and Lyle, and outside of sax and drums and one little piece of piano, the 2 of them played all of the instruments. The album did not chart, but I like Keep the Candle Burning, Rain, I'm Amazed, and The Last Cowboy. Their next album is their hit album. Released in 1976, Breakaway made college radio stations set up and pay attention to this group and play the album. For this album, the duo shook things up a bit, having other musicians join them. They got a new producer, and the album was engineered by Jeff Emmerich, who at the same time was engineering the Beatles' Revolver album. Great songs on this album: Breakaway, which became a hit for Art Garfunkel, Heart on My Sleeve, If I Needed Someone, no, not the Beatles song, and Northern Girl. The album peaked at #6 on the UK charts. After they broke up, they both continued to be very busy, playing on a number of other people's records. In 2010, the duo reformed for a reunion tour and stayed active until 2018. So really, our story starts out with Gallagher and Lyle being hired by Apple Records to write songs for Apple Record artists. Then the 2 of them went on to be founding members of McGinnis Flint, and then to have a successful career as a duo. So this is a case of where whatever band they were in created hits. I strongly recommend you check out McGinnis Flint and Gallagher and Lyle. And keep a rockin'. If you liked this episode, hit the like button, and you can also leave me a comment down below, and I'll respond to you. If you subscribe, we'll let you know when future episodes come out. Most of the albums that I talk about can be found at your local vinyl store or on eBay. Individual songs most likely are on Spotify, Apple Music, or Amazon Music. or even some on YouTube.